It's been a week or maybe 8 days. Um, this is Tarot Reading 56, using the Find Your Magic Tarot. That's it. There's a new deck that I got for Christmas from a friend, and I thought I'd do a reading with it to get a feel for it. So my question was, how can I make the most of this new year? And I got the Page of Swords, and to define it, I said the Page of Swords is an inquisitive person, sometimes young or at least youthful, curious and full of questions and eager to explore the world of ideas or intellectual pursuits. In some decks, there's an element of being a spy. In the Thoth, they're a person dealing with turmoil, but eventually come out on top. They might be overly talkative and badger people for answers. They might be verbally gifted and excitable or have nervous energy and anxiety. They like to converse. They might be the sort to write or keep a journal or blog. And I guess since pages are messengers, they might be there might be a message in the realm of thought, rationality, or intellectual ideas or pursuits. So to interpret it, I'm noticing the image lends itself towards the idea of gossip or getting intel from someone, like being influenced or hearing things by the grapevine. They look like they're texting, so maybe they're spreading this news too. Or maybe the spirit is an embodiment of whatever they're reading on their phone. I could see it as maybe I ought to mind my business more or make that a priority, like don't pay mind to others or their shit. I could also see it as having more conversations with people on the other side with people, because it might lead to something rewarding, like hearing about a job opportunity, for example. I can see the Page of Swords as being nosy or a busybody. I'm inclined to think I ought to mind my business more. I don't know. It could also be to conduct oneself in a way that doesn't lend itself to producing gossip where possible. The other thing is the Page of Swords is always eager to learn, so maybe I ought to focus on my studies more, like tarot, or maybe going back to school or just driving. Like make it a year for learning, be an excellent student. So the Little White Book, I'll read the passage. Introversion, curiosity, and the ability for quick learning are fundamental characteristics of the Page of Swords, a card that forecasts interesting news. Refusal and criticism may defeat those linked to it and make them impulsive, but if they stop to carefully analyze the situation, they will be able to channel their magic to avoid slanderous gossip. The truth, however crude, will not destroy them. Quite the contrary, it will spur them to build up experience and fight for higher ideals. There are some difficulties on the horizon, but patience and reason will provide the right key to dealing with them and sticking to your guns. Yeah. I see how each line relates to the Page of Swords, but it seemed a little disjointed. It kind of seems like a stream of kind of loosely related ideas, like following each other. But the idea of quick learning is there, avoiding slander by keeping a cool head, keeping to patience and reason. Yeah. So maybe conduct oneself well in regard to the public eye, mind your business, don't be a busybody, focus on your studies. Yeah, those are what I think I'm getting from that. So I think I'll leave it there. And thanks. Happy New Year.